Hey guys, welcome back. My name's Stu, and this, for real now, this is the finished Route 66 park. So, as a reminder, situated along the Route 66 highway sits this old ghost town. A number-loving developer has tasked you with creating a theme park and would love the coasters to fit inside the 6x6 footprints of the old town buildings. Your objective to have 10 different types of roller coasters operating in your park, each with an excitement value of at least 6.00. So the whole point of creating this scenario is because I was fiddling around and I created Kindercar, this one here. So it's a play on words. Nope, that's guessed. It's a play on words of kinder or kindercar. So you can either read it as kinder or you can read it as kinder for the German word for child. And yeah, it was great. It's an amazing design, if I do say so myself, because it's so simple and yet it works so well. And then from there, then I started playing about with other 6x6 designs. I knew that the mouse coasters, like for example, the Virginia Reel, um, and the Wooden Wild Mine Train and the Wild Mouse, etc. I knew that they were going to be easy. So after the Virginia Reel, I think that was the last mouse coaster that I did for quite a while in the 6x6. So then I started working on other designs then, and that's when I wanted to make a scenario to showcase those different designs. So starting from Kinder Car then, and we've got Tiny Tubs, Virginia Reel just there. Not sure if I've shown you the Kinder Car stats just there. So it has got a lateral G penalty on here, but it's not really causing an issue for us. Another weird quirk, because I've been exporting and importing this back and forth into OpenRCT2. If you look at the guest numbers, you get that weird thing with the graph. So the first spike, that would be when it's in Classic, and then the flat line at the bottom then, that is when it's in OpenRCT2, and then the spike back up now, that's when it's back in Classic. So somewhere along the lines, the way that the game reports guest numbers is slightly different in Classic than it was in the original RCT2 and therefore in OpenRCT2. So we know there is something different in there because we have seen parks in Classic with guest numbers higher than was possible in not just RCT2 but also Open RCT2 before they implemented the new files save format. So there is some sort of difference, and if you do exceed the the number of guests of the limit in Classic, you then can't load that up in the older versions of OpenRCT2. So we've got the Virginia Reel there, then we've got Dr. Funk here, Twister design. So decent stats on that. And then we've got Santa Barbara just down here. So if you've seen the Ugly Sisters video that I did showing some of the variants and some of the work in progress designs, you'll know that I had a few different designs I could have gone for with this coaster. But in the end, I wanted something with a very, very high intensity, something for maybe high intensity scenarios that we can use. So we've got that. So Santa Barbara, the whole premise of the scenario is that it's based along Route 66. So Santa Barbara it's the name of a place, and it's also the name of a real saint who was one of the saints of mining, and the color scheme for them was blue and white. So that's how that all came about. And then we've got classy chassis just down here, just a simple 6x6 design, because in the end what I wanted to do was I wanted to have a 6x6 design for pretty much every ride, every tracked ride, because when you're in the middle of a scenario, sometimes it's really great just to be able to dump down a really cool space saving design, and then you can then use the time that you've saved to build something else. Moving along this way then, we've got Hypno just there. Hypercoaster, no, that's a guest again. So decent stats on there. So with this one, it's multiple laps. So what you have to do is when you create the ride, you just up the number of, you run it on like a small circuit, and then you up the number of circuits. Then you go in and you edit the design into what you want, switch it to powered launch, and the number of circuits will carry on over. So with this one, then it's got 6 drops. So it comes down, that's the first drop, it goes up, and then it comes back down, that's the second drop. So we know this one's doing 3 circuits, and this drop now, that is the drop required in order to give it the good stats, because without that, it wouldn't be high enough. And then we've got Slime Time, it's the simple Haunted Mansion ride. Just down there, there's various different designs for that and the Ghost Train. But in the end, I wanted something that was basically simple, quite small, quite cheap. We've got a train running all around the outside. And then we've got a golf course there, golf and stuff. So that's a Karate Kid reference just there. So this is basically, I just wanted to use all the different golf holes in that. In a real park, it would be probably more beneficial to have a single golf hole for every single, and just have a few different ones scattered around the place, rather than having one design with loads of different holes, because the throughput on them is really small. Plus, this only counts as one gentle ride, and in order to be eligible for best gentle rides, you need 10. So if you were to put one of each golf hole down, that's 5. So you're halfway there. And then we've got Tiny Torrent, and this is an absolute profit beast. The amount of money you can make on this when it first opened is incredible. So you've got 16 boats on this one, and you've got 8 passengers per boat. And when it first opens, you can charge £10 a go. So the amount of money you can make it's insane. And then we've got Nyala just down here. So this is a inverted vertical shuttle. So the same design for this will work with the other one, the vertical shuttle. But I did go for something different because I didn't want to have too many of the same thing. And we've got Cat House just there, Cheshire Cat's rides. Let's check out the stats on that. Decent. And then we've got Minico. Decent stats on that. So this is kind of like, it was more luck than judgment. It's kind of like a miniature version of Monaco. We've got the up section, and then you've got like the hairpin section and the tunnel section, and then comes back round. Jet ski ride, which is a bit of a weird one, this one. Because if you look at the excitement, it's 4.5. I know it's raining, but this is really not very popular with the guests, even though the excitement is really high. I don't understand why. And Ski Bobs, it's kind of like a reference to T-Bob from the old cartoon mask. And then we got the first of the bunker variants there. So this one's a bunker flawless design. So this is 1 lap, 6.28. So I've got a tutorial, the tutorial section, showing you how to build. No. I'm trying to turn everything off, and I'm messing up. You know what? You've seen it, probably. You've seen it. So yeah, it goes underground. So it's a cool design, if I do say so myself. It took a lot of sort of trial and error to get it to work. On some of them, like this one, you only need 1 lap. Some of them you do need multiple laps. And I think I got 9 different designs that work with 9 different coasters that work with this design to get stats higher than 6. It is quite expensive if you do it like this, where you've got the hole that you build it in. But I did show you on the tutorial how you can build it with minimal digging, and it's much, much cheaper. So on the 3rd row then, we've got Busy Bees. Decent stats on that. I tried to decorate it more, but for some reason it gave stat penalties. So I think this is one of those rides where it doesn't like being covered. And because there's so many crisscrossing back and forth, having a little bit of scenery here and there over the station just penalised. It was sort of multiplied up. And then we've got a stand-up coaster, the old style stand-up coaster in the bunker design. So this one, from the number of drops, there's 2 drops per lap. So you can see this one's got 7 laps. So this is more of like a proof of concept, I suppose, than something you would probably have in a real park, unless you were really short on space and you just needed something to give you a good bang for your buck. And then we've got Cheese Chase on there. So I like this design. I think it's a fun little design. It looks cool. If you compare this to the pre-built, have we gone past it? Have we gone past it? I think we have. There you go. You compare it to Cheesy Mice, or some of the, the original ones, the pre-builts. There's no competition. Okay, the excitement on that might be a bit higher, but look at the size, 12 by 6. You can fit two of them in the space. You could fit one of the pre-builts. Chateau, then, this one's one of my favorites as well. This took a lot of trial and error. It's with the limb coaster. And there's also a little bit of some little trick tracks, or not trick tracks, but little tracks just up there on the balcony, just in order to boost the stats a bit. That's pretty cool. And then we got the monster trucks there called Littlefoot, obviously a reference to Bigfoot, the original sort of monster truck. And then we've got Scarab then. So I've got a few different variants in the looping coaster that we tried out. They're in the Ugly Sisters video. But this one, it just works so well, and it's so simple. And it looks pretty cool. And the lore behind it is obviously it's a scarab beetle. So the lore behind it is these little brown pyramids are made of poo. And then we've got, was this the first of the Mouse Hotel? No, I can't remember. Was that the first hotel coaster? Could be. So yeah, I like this design. I think this is quite cool. The only negative to it is this little bit here. You can't really do too much with it on Classic. With Open, it would be fine. You could easily cover that. But with this, I just couldn't. I tried putting a canopy, it just didn't quite look right. So, and also on what was the name of the park? Was it Terra World? Where we ended up building some of these and we got them together. Because if you build them as like a mirror image, they look really good together. And I was even thinking of doing another one in the same style but a slightly different shape, so that you could tie them all together. So you'd have these ones on the corners, and then you could have ones then as the middle pieces. I think that would look pretty cool. A maze, very simple. Again, probably wouldn't go for a 6x6 in a maze. It's called maze as in like the grass or the crop, but yeah, I probably wouldn't go for something in 6x6, but it's just everything's meant to be a 6x6, so it fits. And then we've got the other version of instead of the inverted shuttle, we've got the inverted vertical shuttle. We've got the inverted shuttle here. So this is a slightly different design for that, but I'd imagine it would work with the inverted vertical shuttle. And then we've got this one here, Die Mouse, which translates to the mouse in German. And weirdly, when I did a Google search for that, it turns out that there is something in Germany, like a cartoon or something called Die Maus, or Die Maus, I don't know how you pronounce it, and it is the same sort of color scheme as well. So I must have at some point seen that somewhere, and then that has subconsciously guided me towards doing this. So decent stats on that. I wanted something that kind of looked like a carnival sort of ride. And then we've got the hairpin, inverted hairpin coaster just there. Decent stats. So probably shouldn't have gone for the gravel on the ground, but we have. So, and then we've got another bunker design just there. It's getting hard to see in some rotations. So this one's the Hyper Twister. And let's have a look. So only 2 drops, so that's 1 circuit on there. And then we've got the submarine ride. So this one is some Mobius, I suppose. So you've got two different sections. Pretty cool. It's pretty popular. Throughput on it's pretty good as well. And then we've got, I think this will be the last of the bunker variants. So I said we've got 9 different coasters that work with it, but in here I've only got 4. Because this is it. I could maybe try and get different designs for them, but getting a design is probably quite easy, but getting them to look good is another story altogether. So this one's the stand-up twister. From the 4 drops, you can tell that's got 2 circuits. Then you've got Huey, the helicopter. Um, you always see them in old films like Vietnam films, especially. You see Huey helicopters. And this is one of the rare examples where I've got the design nailed on the first attempt. So yeah, decent stats there. And then we've got some of the hotel coasters along here. So we'll come back to them because they were the last ones that I did. So Spooky 2D, that's a ghost train there, and it's a nod to the frankly quite terrible ride called Spooky 3D in Oakwood, my local park. It's a very very naff dark ride. Um, I know you put. Do you still wear the 3D glasses? Yeah, the 3D is like it's like 3D. They've painted on the wall like a 3D effect that you wear the glasses for. Yeah, it's not great. There's some really good rides in that park. It's just that isn't one of them. And then you've got Hotel 66. So this is a flying coaster. So it comes out of the station into the half loop, down, around, back, up, and then back to the station just there. It's a bit weird how it only counts one inversion. I suppose I'm trying to work out which one it is because there's 2 half loops. So which is the inversion? I suppose it's going from inverted like it is now to non-inverted, right way up and then back. I don't know. Maybe it's the other one. So yeah, it's quite a boxy hotel just to try and make it look good. So you can see the wall. So if I highlight it there, see these walls. So these we'll forget about that. Those technically hang over the 6x6, so they will be hanging over the path there. For the purposes of this, if anyone wants to play this, you do it however you want to. It doesn't matter. But for me, I wanted to make sure that all the rides, the ride buildings, and the ride path are inside the 6x6 area. Scenery, that's fair game. And then we've got Roach Hotel, just there. Fun little design on there. So 14 drops. So that's going to be all. Let's have a look. We can work it out. It's got to be 7 because 14 doesn't divide into 6, so it could or 5. So it's got to be or 3 or 4. So it's either 2. It's either 2 laps of 7 drops, 1 lap of 14 drops, or 7 laps of 2 drops. So I figure the 7 laps is the most realistic out of them. And then we got Dirty Racing just up there, named after a Game Boy game that I had back in the 90s. I've actually got it now as well. Yeah, I was in a town called Carmarthen, which is on the way actually to Oakwood, and it's a great little town. It's really old. You can trace the history back to like Roman times and or probably pre-Roman times, and it's actually where Merlin is said to have come from, and it's really great for going on like treasure hunts and stuff because they got some old game shops. They got loads of cool charity shops. So I like games and stuff. My other half likes books, so we always go there and see what we can come up with. So I forgot where I was. Yeah, so I was in there one day. I was there one day, and I saw in the CEX secondhand game shop they had a copy of Dirty Racing for like £3. And then I went across the road to a place called Cash Exchange. It's like a pawn shop, and they had a Game Boy Color there, selling it for 20, which was ridiculously cheap. Even like 4 years ago when I bought it, it was ridiculously cheap. I could have literally bought it there for 20, taken it across the road to CEX and sold it for a profit. But I bought it, went back, got the game, and yeah, I've been collecting ever since. And then we've got Vertical Drop there called Wildorado. So I actually asked ChatGPT for a list of names of places along Route 66 that sound like they've got like the word fun in them or something like that. And Wildorado was one of the places it came up with, and it is actually a town along Route 66 called Wildorado. So let's have a look. We won't show the internals just yet. We'll show the stats. There's the stats there, just over the 6.02. Incidentally, in OpenRCT2, these two designs here, they come up a lot more exciting. So there's some sort of way that they calculate the stats or the scenery interactions or something, which just gives it a boost. And also, the flying coaster gives you you get a stat penalty on OpenRCT2 because it needs, on that, you need 2 laps. So I don't know why. I know in some of the rides, the fact that some of the stats aren't needed if there's an inversion. So I do wonder if that part of the code hasn't been checked off so that it ignores the rest of the requirements if there's an inversion. And I believe that needs an inversion, otherwise it does get a penalty. So they should all cancel each other out. I might actually ask the devs to have a look at that, see if it needs corrected. And then, so we'll go internal with these. So you can see some of the shenanigans. So this one's fine. The first one is broken down. That's handy. That one's fine. There's not really any shenanigans going on there, apart from some tricks with the path to get head choppers and stuff. But with invert, just here, why are they wandering up and down? I don't know. There's no shop directly opposite. Who knows? So yeah, I've got like a little bit of water in the middle as well, and some track along the sides, to give it like an excitement boost. So I suppose in real life you do kind of have sometimes bits of track next to rides, and I suppose if it's a hotel, you might have a pool inside. What is wrong with this? Why is it doing that? I don't know. Is it the fence? That would be weird if it was the fence. Or is it the sandwich shop, which isn't next to it? I don't know. It's a bit weird. We'll do that. Doesn't like. There's something it doesn't like the guests. And there you go. Has it fixed it? Yeah. For some reason, the sandwich shop being not opposite, but opposite and up one tile, was causing some issues there. It's a bit weird. Yeah, so we've seen all that, and then we've got the train. So I've just got the train going around the outside, so we could do one of my scenic railway videos. So it's called Steam 66. Decent stats on that. Plus, I think it would be cool just to have a train going around the outside, and then out here, then just built like a simple little security hut, and then I downloaded some car scenery, and we added that in just to make like some car parks. So I wanted the car park to be kind of grotty, basically like gravel and mud and a bit of grass here and there. Because the whole point of this is it's meant to be like one of those roadside attractions that you see that's just grown and grown and grown, you know. But yeah, I'm really happy with the way the park has turned out. And ironically, this is the first. Is it the first mega park I've ever completed? Not, no, probably not. We did that. Was it Power Park? Yeah, we completed the Power Park one. But okay, so this is one of the first mega parks that I've ever completed, which I say ironic because it's a mega park full of mini rides, you know? So if you look at it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, counting with Stu. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 35 6x6 designs plus the train to take it up to 30. Ooh, that's a neat little thing. 36 rides, obviously 6x6 to 36. Yeah, so this is the completed Route 66 park. If you haven't seen any of the videos for the showcases, I went every ride here, apart from the train, has got its own individual showcase video where it just shows it going around the track and stuff like that. And also every single design is up on RCT Go for you to download and put in your own parks. So yeah. So hope you enjoyed the series. If you did, thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you real soon with something brand new. Bye.